What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael and welcome to Fudge Muppet. Today I'm very excited to bring you some Fallout 4 goodness, a video all about 5 returning characters who could also be found in Fallout 3. There will be spoilers about the games too. I'm also not going to be listing Dogmeat or the Mechanist, as they're not actually the same individual between the games. I'm also not going to be talking about the mysterious stranger, as cool as he is, because there's just not enough info on him to know who he really is, and even if he's always the same person. This video contains characters from Fallout 3, all of which you could meet and interact with in Fallout 4. Without further ado, let's jump right into it and kick things off with returning character number 1, Dr. Madison Lee. Lee is a scientist working for the Institute during the time of Fallout 4. She's the head of their Advanced Systems Division, and with her position, she is able to undergo scientific research and experiments she could only have dreamed of. Everything sounds great, but you do discover that Madison Lee is slightly annoyed at the lack of transparency within the Institute. There are some things she isn't allowed to do, such as examine the lab of Brian Virgil, the Institute scientist and her friend who escaped from the Institute as an exile. He was declared dead and his lab was sealed off, preventing investigation. She also feels the Institute doesn't care enough for those in the wasteland. Their technology could improve countless lives and yet they do not use it. This is the Madison Lee many of you may know, but as all you Fallout 3 players would know, this is the same Madison Lee from Rivet City, the scientist who worked on hydroponics experimentation and portable fusion power only a decade ago. Lee of course played a big part in the success of Project Purity in purifying the water supply of the Capital Wasteland. She left the Capital Wasteland after the events of Fallout 3, partly because she knew she could pursue science with the mysterious faction known as the Institute. However, Madison mainly left for the Commonwealth because she actually feared she'd be killed. With her knowledge and talents, she was believed to be a security risk, even though Lyons did let her leave unharmed. Also, fun fact, Dr. Lee is the first clear face you can see in the birthing scene in the beginning of Fallout 3. Next up, we have Arthur Maxon. You know, Elder Maxon, the leader of the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4. Maxon is an absolute beast, becoming the leader of the Brotherhood of Steel at the young age of 16. Lyons had died of natural causes, then his daughter Ciara died in combat shortly after. Then various elders were appointed and deposed due to their incompetence until Maxon was finally appointed. He may have been 16, but he had displayed ridiculously high levels of skill as both a diplomat and as a fighter. He had even killed a super mutant at the age of 10 and took on a Deathclaw by himself when he was 13, hence his scar. Maxon is greatly admired by all, and in the time of Fallout 4 he's only 20 years of age. Regardless of his youth, Maxon has combined the philosophies of the East and West Coast Brotherhood to achieve so much progress in the wasteland. He knows that technology needs to be protected and harnessed, kept in check so to speak, but he still lets wastelanders use lots of it as it's very beneficial to their otherwise difficult lives. Anyways, this legendary tactician could be found at the age of 10 in Fallout 3 within the B ring of the Citadel. If you talk to him, he will tell you how he is the descendant of the legendary Roger Maxon, the founder of their order. He's said that he's been told his soul was forged from eternal steel, and he's also the one who tells you how he killed a super mutant. Turns out in the process he accidentally gave Ciara Lyons a flesh wound by accident. He's certainly grown up fast though, that's for sure. The third returning character in this video is your friendly neighborhood Nuka-Cola drug addict, Ciara Petrovita. Ciara was born in 2251, and you find her in the Nuka World amusement park west of Boston. She's the loopy, fair-haired woman from the Nuka World DLC who subsists off Nuka-Cola and is obsessed with just about everything to do with it. Her teeth have even noticeably rotted from drinking so much of the stuff. Anyways, Ciara can most certainly be found 10 years ago in Fallout 3, living in a tiny settlement called Girdershade. Girdershade only has 2 residents, Ciara and Ronald. Ronald wants to seduce Ciara but has not been able to. In fact, she's the only thing keeping him from leaving the place. Ciara not only hoards and drinks all the Nuka-Cola she can, but she's also obsessed with all the merchandise. Her dedication is scary to say the least. The woman traveled from the Capital Wasteland all the way to the Commonwealth just to visit the Nuka-Cola theme park after all. We then move on to a companion who you can travel the wasteland with, one of the coolest ones in my opinion, Robert Joseph McCready. Robert McCready, also known simply as McCready, is a hired gun who traveled to the Commonwealth in search for a cure to fix his diseased son. The disease was unknown and came shortly after McCready's wife, Lucy, had been killed by feral ghouls. It's quite a sad tale, especially considering he's a hired gun, fighting people and killing to get his money, though he has more morals than someone like Kellogg, for example. Lucy also wasn't aware of McCready's real occupation and thought he was just a soldier. Coming to the Commonwealth, it turns out that McCready has even done some work for the Gunners faction, although now they are annoyed at him for continuing to take work in their territory. Before all this, however, McCready was the mayor of a group of children in an underground settlement known as Little Lamplight. McCready was born in 2265 and is 13 years old when you find him in Fallout 3. He has been mayor for 3 years, so since the age of 10. Little Lamplight is run entirely by children under the age of 16, and before the Great War it was actually a tourist attraction. Anyways, back in Fallout 3, McCready ran the joint, being elected mayor after punching a little girl in the face. This little girl was called Princess and demanded that she be the mayor and that the title be changed to Princess. McCready threw his punch and said Little Lamplight needed a leader, not a princess. His rise to leadership was as quick and as simple as that, and he was a great fit. He wouldn't take crap from anyone and he had no fear of adults. And finally, we move on to a returning character we should all fear, no matter how powerful we think we are. I'm talking about none other than Liberty Prime. This absolute machine is brought back online at Boston Airport during the Brotherhood of Steel storyline in Fallout 4. He's upgraded to have electromagnetic actuators, and his eye has been modified to shoot a singular gigantic red beam instead of a bunch of blue ones. He also has heaps of nuclear bombs which he hurls at his enemies, and he's immune to all his own attacks, meaning he can literally just drop them at his own feet if he has to. He can also switch to an amphibious mode, which you see during his attack against the Institute. He's the most powerful NPC in Fallout 4. However, as you can't forget if you've played Fallout 3, he was also there in the Citadel. He was used by the Brotherhood against the Enclave, and as you'd expect, he tore them to shreds for weeks in the war. This war, which the Brotherhood of Steel ended up winning. Sadly, Liberty Prime was actually destroyed by an orbital warhead, but his remains were recovered and eventually loaded onto the Prydwen, where he was taken to the Commonwealth and rebuilt and improved to defeat the Institute. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you love Fallout 4 and the other Fallout games, then be sure to subscribe because we've got plenty of sensational videos coming out on Fudge Muppet. Like the video if you so please, and head on down to the description if you want to find our social media links and the link to our Patreon. My name is Michael. This was 5 returning characters from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and I look forward to nerding out with you again very soon.